This episode is brought to you by Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 is the ultimate all-out warfare experience. Rip through the skies in aerial dogfights. Demolish your surroundings for a strategic advantage. Harness complete control over every action and movement using the kinesthetic combat system. Drop into multiplayer with your squad, or fight furiously as a member of the Dagger 1-3 squad in a gritty, adrenaline-fueled single-player campaign where you'll defend a world on the edge of collapse.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. In today's episode, I think if you guys be following game news, you probably already seen this post that was going viral where it was talking on how Ubisoft probably canceled It would have been the best Assassin's Creed game, and I guess, for me, my ancestors, they that lives within me and stuff, yeah, they definitely will be having a fun time, just overall though, jokes aside, because I'm trying to be serious, but at the same time, it's like, Ubisoft, at times, they can be comical, they really can, there's stuff that they do with their games where I'm like, fam, I don't know what your guys' end goal is. If you're trying to be the best company of all time when it comes to gaming, you guys are going in the opposite direction. If you consider yourself on that level of, Nintendo or even, EA, and I'm trying to think of some, other companies out there and stuff, where it's even EA, they might have their issues, but I have to say, if it came down between working for EA or Ubisoft, I would rather work for EA. Don't get me wrong, they mess up on their games too, but I just feel like that Ubisoft, on the other hand, it's they do things with their games, and it just seems like that they'll run with it. EA, on the other hand, it's I think that they're trying to build their reputation back up to how it was back in the day. That's why you see them coming out with Battlefield, Madden. I think they already were coming out with FIFA games on, because I remember playing a FIFA game on the Switch years ago. But, they call it FC now. But you see where EA is trying to grow. They done came out with a new skate game and made the entire game free. It's things like that where it's and you look at Ubisoft, the only thing that you guys did was come out with a DLC for The Division 2, where it was the DLC, in my opinion, was mediocre. It wasn't a good DLC. It's you guys, the thing is this, all the content that you guys added to The Division, that could have just been all just base game content. But you're charging money for DLCs where I'm fam, the thing is this, you don't even get to get all of the different weapons and stuff. It just keeps issuing out the same weapon. And I'm fam, I don't understand why it's set up that way, or even, it just seems like that one game that they would put all of their time and attention on, you'll see where they were it's mandatory for us to come out with other games, we gotta, and that's the thing, it makes you think about that too, where it's you guys will say that, Ubisoft or whoever developed whatever game that you guys are coming out with, but is it that, or are you guys just hiring random teams and being hey, can you guys work on this game because we got all of our time and attention on Rainbow Six Siege? It really trips me out, where I feel like that Rainbow Six Siege was probably the best and worst thing that could have happened to Ubisoft, because it's their best game ever. I don't think there ain't gonna be no other game that'll be able to top Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is pretty much Ubisoft's Grand Theft Auto 5. There is not going to be any other, unless they come out with a Rainbow Six Siege part 2. Other than that, it's and that's the thing, what's that gonna be about? Where it's it's and you know what? This is why I think that what would happen if they were to do that. It's gonna pretty much be Overwatch 2 all over again. All they just gonna do is we're gonna change the color of the walls and the floors and stuff. Have it where the characters, they look a little bit meaner and rougher and all that. But other than that, game itself, nothing's changing. No new content, no new things to do. It's just there might be one thing where it could have been an update, but other than that, if they do decide to, they did kind of come out with a Rainbow Six Siege part 2. It was Rainbow Six Extraction, and they pretty much gave up on that game. That's the thing is this, how I look at Rainbow Six Extraction, that's if Rockstar Games were to come out with Grand Theft Auto 6, give it no attention, and go right back to doing stuff for Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'm really trying to sit down and piece it together. It's like, Ubisoft, what do you guys want for your games? Like, the thing is this, I may criticize 2K. 2K, you know what? No, 2K and Ubisoft, they're one and the same. I'm like, they don't want nothing good for their games neither. But anyway, so 2K would be a bad example, but like, I'll say things about EA, I'll say things about like, smaller games from like, indie developers and all that stuff. I'll criticize games left and right. I feel like Ubisoft over the years, that's the one company that I've criticized the most, because when I look at their games, like when I look at their like the main games that got me into Ubisoft, that made me into a Ubisoft fan, when we're going back to the like original or the old like Xbox 360 Ghost Recon games, because what was it? It was like Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter or something like that. I think it was 2, and became a fan of the Tom Clancy games after playing that game. What else? Rainbow Six Vegas. Played a little bit of those games. I was like, wow, amazing game. And when the Division 1 had came out, bro, I'm telling you right now, could not break me away from that game. Like, because it was funny, because I remember I was so caught up with playing games like Destiny and like Forza. Like, there were a lot of different games that I wasn't playing just because I had my time and attention focused on the Division. And then when they announced that the Division 2 was coming out and it's taking place in a completely different area, I'm like, there is no possible way that they can flop with this game. Like, no possible way. Like, this is going to be the best game ever. The Division 2 is probably the biggest letdown in my opinion, like in the history of my gaming. And, well, actually, I take that back. The day before, I'm like, that was a game. That was probably the biggest letdown. But the Division 2 is right behind it. Because I'm like, fam, I don't get how you guys go backwards with the development. You had all this content in the Division 1 where it's like you didn't add that into the Division 2. Like, the only thing that you guys, like, you added some different missions. But I'm like, fam, it's just the content that they have in the Division 2, it's not worth playing. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. Like, if you're trying to get the ultimate Ubisoft video game experience, play Rainbow Six Siege. That's the only game that they focus on. But anyways, so no, they because I feel like I had to go on my little rant about Ubisoft. But no, anyways, so discussing film, and out of all accounts, I'm like, them out of all people had posted about this, because they usually don't be posting about video games. They usually be posting about like movies and stuff. So it's just crazy to me seeing them post about it. But I'm like, that's how crazy this is. But so anyways, discussing film, the Twitter account, they posted, Ubisoft canceled an Assassin's Creed game set in the post-Civil War era, featured a black assassin who was formerly a slave. Players would fight the emerging KKK leadership, canceling it after concerns with U.S. political climate and the Yasuke, the black assassin that they have in Assassin's Creed Shadows, backlash. You mean to tell me that you guys pretty much abandoned probably this would have been the best Assassin's Creed game of all time? Like, it would have been better than 2. It would have been better than Black Flag. Like, any Assassin's Creed out there, you guys decided to cancel that project because of political, like, I guess, like, views or something like that. I guess, like, that's what you don't want to, upset racist people? And the funny thing is, I sit down and I think about it. There's this one video game series where I'm like, they wouldn't have cared. They would have released that game. They would have released it, and they did. They released quite a few games, and it was funny because I think it was the last Wolfenstein game that they released, and they said that neo-Nazis were boycotting the game. If that is not the best possible promotion that you can have for your game, like, my thing is this: let's say if I was coming out with a game where you're just going around killing the KKK and stuff, and they was like, oh yeah, neo-Nazis and the KKK, all these racist people, they're canceling the game. It even went as far as for Trump to say, oh, that game is putting out a bad message and all that other stuff. That is the best possible promotion I can have. Oh yeah, I know I'm not going to get in good with the racist people, but who is somebody of my complexion who's trying to get in good with racist people? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that it makes you wonder. It's like, Ubisoft, what's your guys' political views? What you guys got going on? Because to me, I'm like, that just doesn't even make any sense. You guys are willing to throw away a potential multi-million-dollar idea because you're not trying to upset racist people. And that's the only people that were talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows in a negative way were racist people. They didn't like the idea of an Asian woman and a black man starring in the video game, where I guess every other video game prior before that all starred white people. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying there are black people and just overall people of color. We be doing stuff like that's one thing that I always talk about in video games, where it's just the lack of black people in there. Like there's this one game that I played called Ships at Sea, where they don't even, that game, it was this it's like storm chasing game called Outbreak, I believe. Where's some other game? Oh, there's this like bowling game that came out years ago. I don't even play those games anymore. But no, those 3 games, I remember playing each of those games. The pro bowling game, I remember making a video about it. I was like, fam, where's the black people at? I'm like, black people go bowling. I don't know how many times throughout my life, fam, I didn't went bowling for random occasions, for my birthday. I didn't play bowling video games. I'm trying to think what other things have I done bowling related. You know, it's like, fam, I'm telling you, like, if there's anything bowling related, I'm a fan of it. I didn't watch bowling videos and stuff. I'm telling you, man, I'm trying to think, like, there's even like a competition. I feel like there was like a brief moment where I kind of got into the competitive, so, well, not like myself, but just kind of watching it and things. But yeah, competitive bowling. And that's one thing I'm like, I think they even had it where like Kevin Hart and it was like celebrities and stuff, black celebrities and stuff, where they were doing like some bowling tournament. So black people go bowling. I remember I made a video talking about that. And then it was like soon after I had uploaded that video, then an update came out for that game where they was like, oh, let's just add one black person. And the guy looked like he could have been the same complexion as Tiger Woods. Like, it was like a beige black. It wasn't like, if you guys know what I look like, yeah, it wasn't like my level of blackness. It was like, he's black, but he's mixed with something, you know. He ain't got like that hardcore black voice and things. Like, you know, he can like maybe switch it back and forth where he does have that hardcore voice, but he's definitely gonna use his proper voice, you know, most of the time. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, why not just have it where I could create a character? You know, like ass skin tones, hairstyles, goatees, beards, whatever and stuff, you know, and just have it where I create my own character. The game probably would have been 10 times better and stuff. But yeah, it was like they had it where you couldn't create no character, pretty much. I'm not saying that the game needed to star and have it where it's like, oh, it takes place in the black area, like, oh, everybody in the game got to be black, the audience, the developers, all that stuff, it got to be a black owned video game. No, I'm just saying, it's like, just understand that there are going to be black people that play bowling games, you know, and then they're going to want to either recreate themselves or at least just see some black. But I remember playing that game. There was no black people in I don't think there was even black people in the crowd. It was an all white audience. And I'm like, fam, am I in like a white only bowling alley? Like, what's going on here? So, but anyways, but yeah, it was that game. Then it was this boat like game called Ships at Sea. They didn't have like no deep in depth character customization. I'm not, you know, the thing is this, you could even just have it where it's just like a line of just like either old, young, or just middle-aged men and stuff, where there's one white guy, one black guy, one Asian guy, Middle Eastern guy, it don't matter, you know, Hispanic guy. The thing is this, just have that, you know, so at least there's like multiple options and stuff. But and I feel like people, they're going to probably be all like, oh, you sound like a racist. You sound like this. Like, oh, you have a problem playing games with white people in it. Fam, I'm currently I think Battlefield, they have it where, yeah, I think there's the main character or whoever. But I haven't played multiple games before where you play as a white character, from Grand Theft Auto games. What else? Like the old Grand Theft Autos, like 3 Vice Cities. What else? I mean, I guess, like, if you want to throw in 4 in the mix, I mean, he was, like, because, Nico Bellic was Russian, right? But anyways, I'm like, I guess if you want to throw him into the mix, what other games have I played where it's like, yeah, I haven't played numerous games. The thing is this, I have no problems playing as a white character in the video game, but if you're gonna have a character customization option, or say that you got a character customization option, fam, just have it where you can make it where your character is black. Like, because at the Ships at Sea game, I was like, fam, I'm pretty sure that there's black people that be going fishing, and, you know, they got like boats and stuff, like, you know, they be doing the stuff that they be doing in this game. And it's crazy because there's this other game called Seafarer that just recently came out, and it's the ship simulator, and they have it where your character can be black. And I'm like, wow, all right, I mean, and they thinking like, oh, I want to be black along the lines, like, oh, I want my character to be wearing Jordans and all this, no, bruh. I'm just trying to have it where it's all like, fam, the game is diverse, like there's more than just one option in there and stuff, it trips me out where there's other games where it's like, it ain't really a thing that needs to be added, but you'll see where they'll do that and stuff. And I'm like, bro, it trips me out. Like, I even remember there was one game. It was like this like Minecraft like game. I don't remember the name of that game, and I don't even think that game it's not really all that popular. It's an indie game, but anyways. I remember they did some stuff like that. Had it where you can make your character any other color in the game, but you can make him black. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, like, what do they just make it seem like that? Like, oh, black people, we don't do nothing. We don't be doing the activities that they be portraying in the game. And I'm like, and it just trips me out. Like I had to say, like, probably the best video game in the world where I guess it's starring a black person will probably be Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, that shouldn't be the front runner of like a video game involving black people. There should be other games out there too that's doing that. But I'm like, it just trips me out where it's like Ubisoft, again, focusing back on you guys, you could have very well done that. You could have had it where this could have been a game bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5, or not 5, but San Andreas. Instead, you guys will rather cancel it and come out with a season for Rainbow Six Siege. That's why I'm like, Ubisoft, that's one company where I'm like, hey, you know what? Whatever happens to your company, like when it comes to that point in time where we're looking up and we're seeing all these like companies that we grew up playing their games and all that stuff, because one day 2K is going to shut down. EA is going to shut down. I'm trying to think, Activision, maybe they won't ever shut down. But I'm like, there's going to be a point in time where a lot of different companies, they start shutting down, and it's like, oh, we've seen our course with gaming and all that. There's all these competitors, and we can't compete no more. People don't really be buying our games, so we got to close up shop. Ubisoft is definitely gonna, if they're not the first company, they're gonna be one of the first companies to shut up, or to like overall like shut down their business and stuff, because it just doesn't even make any sense to me. You guys, I wonder how many times, because no, they done canceled Division games, and then with this one, I wonder how many games has Ubisoft canceled. Because, I mean, like, it just seems like that list of, they got, they done canceled a lot of games if they got, like, a section for their games that it scrolls on for a while. Wow. All right. So let's just start off. So there was like Aliens versus Predator for the Game Boy Advance. Hold on for a second. America's Army, Rise of the Soldier, PlayStation 2. Animals, Marine Zoo, Nintendo DS. Arcaterra for Dreamcast. Assassin's Creed Lost Legacy for Nintendo 3DS, Assassin's Creed Utopia for Android and iOS, Baby's Party for Wii, Bonks for Game Boy Advance. I'm gonna go through all the games. I'm gonna read them all. So I mean, if you guys don't want to hear it, then you might want to exit out. But if so, I'm like, yeah, these are all the games that they done canceled. But anyways, Bratz Formal Funk for PlayStation 2, Brothers in Arms Furious 4 for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox, Call of Juarez for Xbox, Campus for PlayStation 2 and Xbox, Charlie's Angels for Game Boy Advance and Xbox, Cloudberry Kingdom for PlayStation Vita, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon for GameCube, Dance on Broadway for Nintendo DS, Dragon Riders for Game Boy Color, E.T. Return to the Green Planet for PlayStation 2. I'm just gonna read through because I'm like all the different consoles and stuff. But anyways, just without reading the consoles. But anyways, Far Cry Instinct. Well, yeah, I guess like there is some, because I think this game, it did come out, but it's just that I guess there's like it didn't come. All right, you know what? We bump all that. We're gonna go back to reading the consoles and stuff. But for PlayStation 2, F1 Racing Championship 2 for Windows and PlayStation 2. Funky Barn for Nintendo 3DS, Golden Glory The Road to El Dorado for Dreamcast, Guitar Hits for PlayStation Portable, Haze for Windows and Xbox 360, Heroes for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, Imagine, Animal Doctor for Windows, Killer Freaks from Outer Space for Wii U, Killing Day for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, Larry Bonds Harpoon 4 for Windows, Mites and Magic Raiders for browser. I think like web browser, like a website. Okay, so I was like, what's? I ain't never heard of that console before or platform. But anyways, My Life Coach for Nintendo DS, Pets Monkey's House for Windows, Project Q for Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox and Xbox Series X and S. Rayman for Super Nintendo, the Super Nintendo console entertainment system, whatever you want to call it. Rayman 2 for Sega, Saturn, Rayman 4, Raving Rabbids, Steep for Nintendo. Bro, they would have, wow, that's crazy. Steep on the Nintendo Switch actually would have hit. That's crazy. But anyways, I guess Steep for the Nintendo Switch. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for PlayStation 3, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon 2 for Windows, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter for GameCube, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 for Wii, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Commander for browser, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Frontline for multiple platforms, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier for Nintendo DS and PlayStation Portable, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Island Thunder for PlayStation 2, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms for Wii U. I remember that. That was like wasn't that like a free multiplayer game? I think I remember. Yeah, it was a free-to-play game. I remember playing a little bit of it, but anyways, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege Patriots for Windows, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Critical Hour for PlayStation 2. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear for PlayStation 2. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas for GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell for MetaQuest 2. Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox One. VIP for Dreamcast, Wild for PlayStation 5, and Wild Waters for Nintendo 64, and Zombie U2 for Wii U. And that's all the games that they've canceled though just over the years. I'm like games dating all the way back before I was born. And it's one of those things where it's like, for as long as you guys have been a company, and it just seems like that, if you guys come out with a video game, it's like, it ain't going to matter what kind of game it is. But anyways, yeah, it looked like you guys have been around 1986. You guys have been around for 39 years, and you're worried about what racist people will think if you guys were to release a game. It's where it's about a black assassin killing the KKK. And you know what's funny? One game that had did that where it was an Easter egg, and I think they just made them out as weak and you can kill them easily, was Red Dead Redemption 2. There's an Easter egg where I guess like if you go to this wooden area in the middle of the night, then you could, there's like some KKK guys, I think they're burning a cross or some stuff like that, and you can sneak up on them, shoot and kill them. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, if they did that, Wolfenstein came out with their series. I'm trying to think, what are some other video games where like you're killing races? Video games where the enemies are racist. Let's see. Ethnic cleansing was created. A neo-Nazi and white supremacist organized player can choose to control. That's a real game? They say that the first-person shooter was created and distributed by the National Alliance, a neo-Nazi and white supremacist organization. Players can choose to control a Ku Klux Klan member or a neo-Nazi skinhead and kill based on there's like black people, Latinos, and Jewish people. That is some crazy stuff, man. Yeah, you know that game ain't definitely didn't see the light of day. Yeah, that's crazy. There's like that game's supposed to come out in 2002. I'm like, that's wild. That's wild. And my thing is, the National Alliance was a white supremacist neo-Nazi. There's like this was a real thing, and they came out with video games, bro. That's wild. That's wild. And I'm like, and you mean to tell me that game can come out? How long was this game, I guess, playable? They were even going to do a sequel. That is some wild stuff, man. And it's like, fam, if there's a game like that could come out, yeah, they have it where it's like they use when you click on the thing, it shows where they like, you just walk up to a Hispanic person and you shoot and kill them. They made it like all stereotypical where he's wearing like a poncho and a sombrero. And I'm like, fam, you mean to tell me that they can come out with that, but Ubisoft, you guys couldn't come out with an Assassin's Creed where it's based on killing the KKK? Yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, Ubisoft, you might as well close up shop. It's one of those things where I'm like, every time when I see something with Ubisoft, it's like it just seems like it's always disappointing. Like they're not trying to do good, I guess, when it comes to their games. So yeah, I'm like, Ubisoft, you guys might as well just close up shop and you just let somebody else focus on the types of games that you guys be putting out, because y'all don't know what you're doing. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.